Hello everyone, welcome to Mystic Movement Astrology, navigating the stars with our feet on the ground. This is your report for the full moon on January 28th, 2021 in the sign of Leo. So this is about you and how your authentic creativity and voice is the answer to helping the world heal. Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius is expanding our awareness of the collective field. So I want to bring your attention to Ayurveda and Indian scriptures, which have a more expansive, comprehensive sense of the mind and its authority as being the second as far as its immense potentialities to God, or to the higher spirit self. So the physical body is just a grosser material replica or image of this mind field that we are all a part of. And so this is the basics to that classic Indian doctrine, which is referenced as mind over matter. So mind and matter are on an immaterial to material continuum and thus mutually influence each other. So this is always a dialectic, this is always going on. So since we have moved predominantly to air signs with the stellium, 5 planets, 1 asteroid, 4 planets in Aquarius, we are transcending the physical restrictions of the Capricorn energies. The same potentialities existed before as do now, but now there is more of the imperative to work in the unseen dimensions. So quantum physics reveals a quantum field where the phenomenon of mutual arising occurs. Our interactions on the level of beliefs, emotions, and thoughts influence what arises in the space around us. It's time we put this awareness to good use. We may think we can do little to affect the collective sphere. This is true physically, but mentally we have a great influence, like a ripple effect on those around us. We both spread and keep this from spreading, these effects, depending on whether we want to enhance them or we want to mitigate the effects of whatever is entering our thought field. So most of the time we are choosing to spread positivity, love, and light. But we may unconsciously also spread fear, negativity, and hate. When we notice this, it's important to take ownership. So Leo is about leadership. It's about recognizing that we are all the creators of our own reality, the lions in our own jungle. So sometimes projections from the unconscious of the other come our way, and we have to use our lion to eat that hate, right? The reality is negativity cannot be vanquished. Okay, I learned the hard way from years trying to battle and defeat my demons, and now where I am learning to make space for them to express so that I can understand their origins and then disidentify with them. So disidentification is when we can no longer really feel that we are those subjectivities, that we are those darknesses, and therefore that we have to express them or that they're a part of our identity and our being, but rather they're part of our multiplicity, they're part of our intersubjectivity. And we all have this inner multiplicity. So really, a lot of the pain and suffering we go through is from this lie that we've all inherited from our culture, that there is this singularity, that we have to be consistent, that we have to be one person, one identity, we have to be confined within that space. But what we're taught and what we learn from stories and myths and archetypes and realms of transpersonal and depth psychology in our dreams is that we are so much more than one within us. And really, that's an incredibly freeing acknowledgement to make, because then it's like we don't have to judge ourselves for being one way and not another way. We can realize that we have an essential self. We have an authentic, true self that is abiding in all of these various subjectivities, and that we can have compassion for all of these voices that come up within us that are often the manifestations of our conditioning. So we might have a voice, and that voice is telling us that we have to be better, or that we can't complete something until we know it's going to be perfect. Or maybe that voice is telling us that, we need to work more, and that we can't put our creative energies as a focus. So maybe these identities could be described as, for instance, a perfectionist, or our father archetype or subjectivity. And so then that creates this distance where it's like, okay, that is happening and arising within me, but that is not me. That is not the whole of me. So in other realms, in the astrology archetypes, we have Venus conjunct Pluto aspect right now in Capricorn. So I have this conjunction natally, and I can speak to it as the love of depth and transformation when these two planets come together. And in Capricorn, we can see that this is a powerful time to transform our past structures of how we see the world in favor of new structures based on new beliefs. So this full moon is a release of pent-up creative energy that, when experienced and later witnessed, can really provide a guidepost for what we want to go in the future. What directions we really want to move in. So this is really a time to fully allow yourself to dream and embody the limitless nature of your child self. Leo is about children. And we're doing this in order to start drafting a plan for your future world. So as each of us pushes further into our own edge of the possible in this quantum collective mind field that we're a part of, then a new paradigm truly becomes possible. So it's that relationship of the individual to the collective. This is the Leo and Aquarius axis. So we also have Neptune, which is the planet ruling our dreams, our intuition, that mystical higher realm of the spiritual world where we're getting messages that are from these unseen dimensions, that are kind of mystically felt or intuited, or we're experienced through synchronicity. So really paying extra attention to that right now, especially as Neptune is squaring the nodes, our nodes still in Sagittarius and Gemini. So this is a sign that our dreams and intuitions may be providing useful clues about where we need to evolve personally in order to work as one. We're working it out for ourselves so that we can work it out in this collective dynamic, because we all have a role to play. But first we have to go within to what is our role. So no discovery is too small, and no change is insignificant. They're all significant. Remember this as a belief matrix we are working with, and the status quo is only because we maintain the reflection of what that status quo is. So really we hold the power to change that. So this is a powerful time to take another lion's leap into what could be. Forget making a plan for now, suspend the worry around how it's going to happen, and just dream the life you want into existence. Just play with it. Even just, imagine it's never going to happen and it's just a story you're writing, and just start to play from that level of your inner child. And, that's really what Leo encourages us to do. It's the artist. It's the artist archetype that we all have within us that we can tap into and start to explore more. And it's also a very healing way to work with energies, to work with our emotions, and to work with these interpersonal dynamics that we've been experiencing. Because, ultimately everything we go through on a personal level then gets brought into the interpersonal sphere. So the depth and breadth and comprehensiveness of our inner work is what determines the quality of our relationships in this quantum mind field. So it's important as well to see the difference between wanting something that is in line with collective needs, or something that is maybe just more like a selfish wish. So moon opposite this stellium in Aquarius is showing us how we need to be ourselves in order to serve others. And in order to be ourselves, we also need a greater purpose to serve. So once again, how that duality is communicating. So Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus, another aspect going on right now, is wanting us to be motivated and awakened to our drives, desires, our life force energy, and ultimately realize how that is connected to the earth. So from an eco-psychology standpoint, we are the earth. We grow out of the earth, as Alan Watts says. We are not just here on the earth, and I think that letting that truck pass, we just have inherited this cultural perspective of, this relationship with the earth as though, it's the mother and it's something maybe other, but, we are a part of our mother. We have the same genetic makeup as our mother. We came out of her body. So in a sense, we're not different. We speak about differences in order to create understanding of the relationship, but I think that collectively we're really coming back to a sense of how intimately connected we are with the rhythms of our earth. So the most significant thing about this full moon I see is a call for leadership within the collective. So leadership is not a special place in the sun only golden people rise to. It's a humble way of being where we accept responsibility for our actions, our thoughts, and our feelings. It's a commitment to stay calm in triggering times and to recognize that the oppressors and the people poisoned with hate are suffering more than anyone else. And it is not just their hate that they carry, but the hate in the collective consciousness that cannot be defeated, but must be transformed through love. So the best thing we can do is to love our enemies and to hope that this disarms them and helps them to heal. Because ultimately their healing is our healing, and our healing is the world's healing. So that is all I have to share with you today, and I wish you a very happy full moon in Leo. Namaste. Be fierce, be true, be you.